Yubi Tubi, what is back? We're up. YouTube, what's up? We're back. I was doing not this identical run, but this portion of the trail a week or so ago, and I brought the phone out and I thought I'd make the same type of video, and I got into it and I was like, oh, you know what, no. I'm not going to. I felt a bit stupid, but I ran this the end of last week and I'm running it again, and we're going to walk. Heart rate needs to stay, well, I'm wanting at 165 and I'm currently at 160 going uphill, so we're going to walk. I thought to myself, you know what, I'm not going to, because a bit of it was like a boo-hoo, poor me shit, but I know I said with YouTube I want full transparency, and anyone who watches these, the poor souls that stay for the majority of the time, will see the full in-depth. I try and keep this kind of stuff away from Instagram and TikTok because, you know, that's very like instant, isn't it? You know, I don't think a lot of people will click onto these, and these aren't really getting a lot of traction either. Maybe because it's the title and stuff, and because my last ones did, it was like ego trail, but I say they were a bit of clickbait stuff because I had them as like camps and stuff, and people probably were trying to look at, oh, let's see if he has a video about it, the trail and stuff, so they got more views. So these ones currently don't, and I don't care either. So if you're someone that's watching them, welcome, and let's kind of, I suppose, get into it really. I'll let you think what I've been thinking. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to leave that YouTube video.
Lab 4, 1521.
That was the time there. Yeah, I had recorded there around another 18-minute video, and I went into a situation that occurred with me 3 years ago, and yeah, not the best of shape, but I'm just going to give a bit of a synopsis here now. I'm not going to go anywhere in depth. I'm going to get to the point of what this video is, and at the very end you're going to realise with the video that I'm going to attach at the end of why I don't want to say any more, because when I get to this point of my trail, when I do decide to run up, because it's a bit of a bollocks to get up to it at times, there's a bit of a climb that just knocks the stuffing out of me, and I'm currently a bit tired, calves are a bit shot and stuff like that, and probably that's what I get for driving. I'm not really warming up, but the last clip I'll attach is when I'm at this point, or even up higher, I understand why I do what I do now, to run, and the sheer freedom that it gives me, and that viewpoint, and to 100 miles for mental health. That is why. That image, or the clip at the very end, is why. I'm going to put this away now because I'm going up to people, so I'll get back to what I wanted to say. I'm going away because I met a father and his 2 kids, and if that doesn't really solidify to what running the hills, the mountains, does by allowing you just to escape and enjoy time with either loved ones, yourself, and to realise that everything is good, then I don't know what will. So this YouTube video, to me, I'm just going to get to the point. I'm done now trying to explain my rationale behind this word, because when I do, I think of everything, and I try and think, should I let YouTube be that? And I'm like, no, I think private business is private business. But what I'm going to say to you is the word of this title for this video is going to be failure. I find myself in predicaments and situations where I deem myself a failure. I feel me leaving the industry of sports, I deem myself as a failure. I deem myself of my how I do things and I've done things in life as fail. I have minimal belief in myself at times until, you know, whatever happens. And when you talk to maybe, you know, one of those beta males, or, you know, someone who deems themselves like an alpha fucking thing, or let's say confident, they say, oh well, you're the victim. And you know what, lads, I am the fucking victim. I have that mentality, and sometimes, here's me gonna say, I don't do it on purpose. I don't do it on purpose. I just have never had that form of belief. Maybe I've done things where I take the burden of things too much and I don't see the other side of it. Like, oh well, you did it, you didn't get the result, but you're here to tell the fucking story about it. Whereas I would hang my hat up and like, we lost the match, game over, let the team down. But I'd get deeper than that. I'd go, I let the manager down. Well, you know, when it comes to the end of year review, the manager might lose his job. I would feel, well, me playing in that position led potentially to an outcome of his loss. Like, that's how fucking deep it goes for me. Do you know what I'm saying? I wear my heart on my fucking sleeve, but it's not just for me, it's for everyone. If I don't do something good, it's a fucking reflection on my mum or my family. Well, my family's fairly fucking sporadic right now, but so I'm going to say for my mum, my dad, or, you know, my partner. I want to be a good fucking partner. Do you know what I mean? It's just tough, like. I've done life things back to front, and I'm reaping some fucking serious issues of it right now. Like, certain investments in life that I shouldn't have, but I did them because I deem myself to have no fucking, you know, guidance. I just wanted to learn myself, but now I'm learning, and it's caused me, let's say, financial strain. I left my old industry because I burnt out. I hold my hands up, I burnt the fuck out. I failed at that because I gave my services at an undervalued price. I followed in a sport, an S&C career doing teamwork where I undervalued my price, and that was a knock-on effect because I allowed the side of education let that down because I didn't have a degree, but I didn't back my abilities because of my true essence of understanding of sports. And maybe probably something that I am very confident with, that my rapport with athletes I would deem very high. I'd like to think that an athlete, or it doesn't even matter, like a Joe Soap with a regular team, but if I'm employed by that team to do something, I would feel like after time who I am and what I stand for, they can come to me and have the chats, and I'd be very understanding. I wouldn't be this fucking high mighty up and tighty in your face arsehole. So I actually do believe, and I'm going to give myself credit, I feel like my rapport would be very good. I would chat and understand at a level fucking thing. I'm not this textbook fucking dickhead who has spent 4 years heading a book and, you know, getting their qualifications, which I don't have, and then all of a sudden they come out and like, oh well, this book says here that you can't do that. You know, they don't live in the real world. So I would give myself praise for that, but trying to pursue the higher echelons of roles, didn't have pot to piss in then. Now come into a job that I have pot to piss in, and I don't have pot to piss in because I fucking just get rid of all the money by paying for stupid shit. And that's a trigger. I feel that's a financial failure. I have other things as well that I went into deep, but they're triggers. We're not going down that way today, Foz. They're triggers. And such is fucking life. Do you know what I'm saying? Such is life. It's just how to deal with them. And I think why and what and how to just to cap this off now, because this is going to be a short YouTube video. So I don't want to get into it. As I said, I'm going to clip the last video at the very end, and you'll understand why. Is because I've had a lot of influential people cross my path. And when I mean that, or what I mean by that is regular Joe Soaps. They're my friends. Someone who I may have looked up to. Someone who, as much as I fucking hate the platform of social media, someone who you might feel the art of what they're saying to encapsulate an audience. It works, but sometimes you, as the viewer, might see through the bullshit of what you deem as social media. You think, oh, he's fucking real. And I've done that with one or two. I'm just kind of thinking like, well, you know, there's currently a lad at the moment, Andy Glaze, running the Cocodona 250 mile race. He's a full-time fucking firefighter, a dad, husband. He worked, I think, around a 24-hour or 48-hour shift prior to running 250 miles. You know, he's just a regular Joe Soap. He's no sponsors, no nothing. He takes no sponsors. He probably could have as many sponsors as he wants with his following on TikTok and Instagram. But he just stays true to himself. He runs and crews for himself. He has no one to do it for him. He just has his drop bags. And I think his catch line is like, if you're not smiling, you're not doing it right when you're running and being out. And listen to a very solid podcast of him and Sally McRae on my other run up here. And just puts things into perspective. But again, you got to bring yourself back down and ground yourself and realise, well, you know, he's a few years ahead of me. Completely different background to where I am. But there's some things that you can resonate with. And don't get me wrong, lads, I had a savage fucking upbringing. Savage. But there's just some things where I deem where I may have missed out on. And I can comprehend them. And if I was to be challenged on them, I might get flustered because they may not be challenged by someone else. And sometimes I hate that. I have other influential people, friends, like my friend Dara, who did a charity event. And this is where this portrays now. Sometimes I got to bring myself back to be like, I don't want to be. Sorry, I don't know who's around. And again, I'm not that arsehole who is this, like, get the camera in my fucking face. Just if there's someone here, I'm going to get rid of it. But I don't want to be somebody. I just want to be me. But what I want to do is I want to be able to do something. Because I just feel I need to do it for my own self. To, I suppose, ultimately prove to myself that... Here we go. Back being soft, you cunt. Prove to myself that I'm not a failure. I can do this. You know, some close friends of mine that, you know, give me tough love and they poke and prod, but if underneath it all, like, I'm a fucking softie, like, you know, I suffer with the body positivity image, like, I'm a fat cunt, like, that kills me. There's people that, you know, that joke, because I'm a very fucking, I see the funny side to things and I don't try and make it serious. But sometimes, depending on the mood that I'm in, it may trigger. Or if I'm already in a mood, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm actually going to take that to heart. And then I could go on a fucking tangent, but like, I'm a fat cunt. I just find it hard to change that. I put up barriers and excuses thinking that it's work, shift work, you know, all this fucking thing. And then just said the financial thing is another trigger. But when it came to going back to the influential friends, or let's say that person, I was like, well, why can't I do it? When I saw Dara do things, like, why the fuck can't I do it? And the other trigger for me, if I hadn't mentioned it, is turning 30 is like the end of the world thing for me. Because ultimately, me justifying me turning 30 is like I've done nothing in life. And I don't mean that by any disrespect or disregard to the people that are in my life, because there's things that I've done in my 20s that is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like, one being my partner. That's probably one of the best things that has ever happened to me. And I don't think she realises that at times, how level she makes me and how much, excuse me, the tough love I need at times. Maybe a bit too fucking tough. If you watch this, you bollocks, a bit too tough. But it's that a heart of gold, and, you know, I can't let that elapse at times, because I should be the one that leads the front. I have this, like, fucking, you know, a stereotypical thing, like, men lead from the front. Got to be a macho man. And I have to. And that will never change. No one can ever change that opinion to me of that. Oh no, you live in a new world where, you know, they're all, you know, level playing fields. No, get the fuck out of here. The world I live in is that a man should be able to fend for family. Full stop. His partner, his wife, kids, whatever the fuck it is. And my goal and objective is in life that I should be able to put as much work as I possibly can in. Be able to set aside as much money or earnings that I possibly can. That when it comes to our lives where, you know, want to get engaged, get married, get a gaff, all that type of stuff, holidays, that I can just, not a bother. I can treat my partner, I can treat my kids.
Lap 5, 1314.
Another 4 kilometers to go. How the fuck am I going to make that? I have to do a loop somewhere. You know, make sure the mother and the father's good. Or if I just need things, I'm good to go. And that's where we go again with the financial thing. I can't do that. I deem myself a failure in that right now. So, the buzzword of being a failure right now, where does that come in with this YouTube and me running and hiking at the moment for this run, so I need to put this phone away now and get going. Well, I suppose, not that I battle with a diagnosed issue, I have had people around me that battled or do battle. I've had people around me or in the community that I would know of through either the school or the town that has battled or battles. I've put out my first 2 to 3 TikTok videos, and within those first 2 to 3, whatever form of engagement that I got and how the algorithm works, I had 3 people from my new employment reach out to me via message that I would know, hear us, that I would know, that said that they struggle and that it's great at what I'm doing, and that warms me, hear us, that warms me. So take what you want from this, but I have my reasons why I'm doing this, and you may not deem to be reasons, and that's okay. You have your head on your shoulders and your life fucking planned out. I'm trying to figure mine out right now. I'm in a vicious cycle that allows me to get that going, and when that happens to me, I can be very sporadic and very rash, and I need to relax. I chase things when I need to live in the moment. Currently I'm chasing, and I'm gonna have to hold my hands up, chasing more money, because more money to me allows me to get myself out of the current rut that I have and focus on that. But I need to realise that I'm in a good paid job right now. It goes up every year. Career progression is viable. I just don't see it right now, which is a bit of a flump for me, because I'm someone who's ambitious at the age that I personally believe I am, that can go and pursue more. I do believe I'm more than just my current grade. And then sometimes the vicious circle says, well, you're not good enough. And then I think to myself, well, I'm going to leave them. I'm going to find something that's on the same line, but that pays more, and then just be there. More money, same kind of bullshit. And then I'm like, no, just fucking relax, Jack. So that's where I'm at right now. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, that's how much of a fucking frenzy my fucking head's in. So if you get to the end of this, before I share the video that I like, apologies for the fucking language. But to finally get to it, this video is about failure, of what I deem to be failing at and doing, and what I'm trying to get at and do. And the reason why 100 miles for mental health has come around is because my friend Dara helped me massively. And he doesn't know it. I'm gonna fuck my little nail. He doesn't know massively how much he's done for me. I'll stop this because I'm being a little bitch. Jesus, lads, I'm a softie. But I suppose I said to you, we'll keep the transparency rocking, and we won't edit that part out, but like, boys, that's where I'm at. That's how I flip. I'm an emotional lad. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but if the cunt Dara gets to this far, just gotta let you know, kid, that's how much you mean to me. Anyway, I'm gonna stop before I go again, but Dara helped me last year to complete an ultra on a 12-week swing, and last year at the start of January I tried to, like, you know, bite the bullet, like I need to do something, and I reached out to a social media person that I resonated with. I paid an expensive amount of money for 1 month, and the service just didn't happen, you know, for what I deemed a heavy price. I just wasn't getting contact when I needed, and I thought that's the whole thing of like coaching, was through certain windows, and certainly for the price of 350 quid that I paid for a month of coaching would get me, and it just didn't happen. And it kind of annoyed me more, because when I go on social media, you'd see the person doing something again. That couldn't be right now in the present, that could be like he's just uploading it then, but I was like, well, fuck you anyway. You know, you're out doing shit, or you're in the office, like, surely the fuck, I've got your personal number, you can send a quick text back. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, rode that wave, found someone closer to home, again, same thing. I think I was sprinting before I could run. That got pretty heated with no fault of my own. And to this day, I'll hold my hands up and it is my fault. And I express my sincere apologies for that situation with that coach. But I just don't think I was in the frame for online coaching and that fix. I think I needed to be present and in something. And I just fucking let the wheel go and did nothing. I'd paid for the ticket for the run. And here we are. Sorry, back then. And then I was talking to Dara throughout, like I always do, chatting away, and he's like, come on, fuck, get on board. And it was actually just before my birthday, before I went over to see my dad. Getting a load of things. I hadn't seen my dad in 4 years since COVID. And I think it was the end of June, I got on board with Dara. So, and it was 12 weeks out from there. And it was probably the best decision that I'd ever made. And Dara was a friend, but we kept it to the point where business at the front, party at the back. You know, he hooked me up with fucking training plan. Everything, took into my shift work. Everything that was an issue for me, he took in. And I got a steep here, so we're gonna walk. And he did that for me. And in 12 weeks, I ran 48k. Bear in mind, in 9.5 hours, everything on the day went bellies up. I cramped, no fault of his own, just suppose shit happens. I think I was ran down 3 days beforehand. Wasn't really eating, doing things that I didn't usually, like eating food and soup and shit like that. Not hydrating correctly was a big one. And it came to race day, and just shot the bed at the half marathon mark. Just like the sniper up in the tree, just caught my calves and hamstrings and then quads. So I think in peak week I ran 36k, leaving 12k behind, and I had got it done in around like 5.5 hours with no problems. Anyway, that's not why we're here. But I was like, yeah, this running thing is for me. I might not be good at it, but I enjoy just you can't just you know, sorry, I got a text there, went off. Just saying, like, may not be good at it, but I enjoy just getting out in the hills. I hate road running. I like the heartache that it gives you while doing this. And so I'll sign up for the race, and a month later, my friend Dara did a charity event with another individual, get Katie to Crumlin, him and Lukey. I was like, well, you know what? Here, Foss. I was like, you know what? Those two boys are regular Joe Soaps. One's a sports scientist, one's in the army. They committed the time to do that in their shift worker patterns and days off. It's like, why can't I do something? And then we just got that kind of, here, Foss, we just got that kind of flash and think like, all right, well, let's try and do something positive. Let's knock the negativity out of the world in relation to me thinking about turning 30, that I haven't done anything.
Lap 6, 9:54.
Thanks, I've got 3 kilometers, definitely not 3 back to the car. I was like, let's knock the negativity out of the 30. Let's knock the negativity of me leaving the industry. And I suppose now the new trigger of just finding my feet in life, of the struggles of trying to get a gaff in this economic fucking climate, refers back to my financial instability. And the one thing I would say is I'm nowhere near in death bar the car, but that's an investment. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't have the ability to, you know, up and go on holiday or have savings for this. You know, I do stupid shit. Like the watch that I have is on finance because I couldn't pay for it straight, but I need a new watch. You know, that's stupid shit. You know? I was like, well, let's set the plan. Let's do it for something that this town that I'm in, this country that I'm in, this world that we live in suffers with, and that's mental health. And the more I think about it, the more becomes prevalent that I do have my days, not as severe as other people. And I think when we came with the idea, I said to Dara, we'll do it for mental health and we'll get on board with it. And that's when we start to discuss the details of, well, what are you going to do? And Dara was like, well, no point doing the same mileage as you did the last time. And then we were like, well, what about 100 kilometers? And then we're kind of like, well, what is that? And, you know, how could we do it? And we thought about doing all the peaks of every province within 24 hours as a team. And then we decided, actually, we'll just do it as you, Jack. And he's like, I'll be the one that designs and the course coordinator and head crew chief and everything for me. And then we just thought, well, how about Jack do the pinnacle of ultramarathon? Dara kind of said, because I got into running from the interest in the Barkley marathons, like the ultramarathon, and then obviously going down that rabbit hole of backyard ultras, you fell into, like, you know, other social media content creators and the actual sport itself of ultramarathons, and being the 100 miler being the pinnacle of it all. Sorry, someone passed me again, so I dropped the phone. But I was just talking about what kind of inspired me. And anyway, long story short, ultramarathon, the pinnacle is like 100 miler. That's like your entrance into fucking ultramarathons, that top fucking heavy bullshit, and then everything else after that is just ludicrous. And toxic trait of mine is that I just feel like I can personally do it, and then until I get closer to time, I'm like, oh shit, I can't. I like playing those games. If you can't tell from this video, I like fucking with my mind, and it's not good. Sometimes I thrive on the not believing in myself, and sometimes it takes a hold of me, and it just depends on the day that I'm in of how I allow that to happen. And it's something I need to get over, but the idea of it all kind of scares the life out of me. And that's when we decided we'll name this 100 miles for mental health. And we did so on the day of November 13th 2024. We sat on Zoom and WhatsApp, went on Strava, and we said I'm going to do it from my hometown of Bray, start and finish, and we're going to do it over Dublin Mountains and the Wicklow Mountains. And when we got to it, it just equated to 162 kilometers, so what, 101 miles, which we just call it 100 miles for mental health. Here, fellas. And it's over 5,334 meters of elevation, and that's where 100 miles for mental health came. And I think to end on this, because not only did someone go past me, but my phone is out of storage, I'm going to end this now and say, welcome. There's my reasoning and rationale of why I'm doing what I'm doing. If you get to this end of this video, enjoy the last clip of the reason why, and just understand that that video that I have there is pretty much every mountain and peak that I'm probably going to cover. On you go, this way. That I'm probably going to cover from start to finish, looking afar all the way over to Tala, the Hellfire Club, and then coming closer back towards Crone Woods, Mauldin, Jouse, Sugarloaf, further away, the Spink and Glendalough and everything. So yeah, enjoy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Good luck. So there's another runner going past me. Fuck it, anyway, I'm not that guy. I don't live this life. Good luck.